Damien's office was eerily quiet. The staff had just left the room, confused and murmuring among themselves. He had called them back, demanding answers, only to discover the shocking reason behind Elena's sudden disappearance. She hadn't left them with a note. They had no idea she was about to escape. "Wait! She didn't tell anyone?" one of the assistants asked, bewildered. She gave us a day off," another said, shrugging. "We thought she just needed a break." Damien's jaw tightened. Anger flared, but it was tangled with a sense of helplessness he couldn't shake. Without another word, he waved them off. "Go. Continue your day off. I need time alone." As the door clicked shut, the silence pressed down on him. Alone, Damien sank into the chair behind his desk, running a hand through his hair. The emptiness was suffocating. He didn't know what to do, where to start, or how to fix the chaos that had just exploded in his life. Then, almost instinctively, he reached for his phone. The screen lit up, and his stomach dropped. Headlines, notifications, social media alerts. Everywhere he looked, the scandal was splashed in bright, merciless letters. There he was, Damien, caught in a fabricated video, accused of cheating, accused of abandoning a pregnant woman. The rumors ran rampant, spinning a story he had no part in. Devastation hit him like a tidal wave. He stared blankly at the phone, unable to process the sheer scale of it all. Tyler's name flashed repeatedly on the screen. Calls, messages, texts, but Damien ignored them. He wasn't ready. He couldn't speak. He sat in silence, the weight of betrayal, confusion, and helplessness pressing down. Alone, unsure, angry, heartbroken. The scandal wasn't just online. It was everywhere now, and Damien had no idea where to even begin fixing the pieces. The quiet in Damien's office was broken by the soft click of the front door. Tyler stepped in, calm but purposeful, his eyes scanning Damien's face for the first hint of reaction. "Damien," he said gently, closing the door behind him. "I've been trying to reach you. You need to hear me out." Damien didn't look up immediately. His hands clenched the edges of the desk, his mind still spinning from the scandal that had erupted online. Tyler didn't rush him. Instead, he walked over and placed a reassuring hand on Damien's shoulder. "We will figure this out," Tyler said firmly. "Whatever this is, whoever did this, we'll get to the bottom of it. And we'll find Elena. I promise." Damien finally met his gaze, the first flicker of hope igniting behind the storm in his eyes. Tyler continued, outlining a practical plan. "We can start by investigating this scandal. Track who released the video, trace the sources. And as for Elena, if anyone knows where she might be, it's Cassie. You said you've recently gotten close to her. If anyone can tell us where Elena is, it's her." Damien exhaled slowly, the tension in his shoulders easing just a fraction. Tyler's confidence and practical approach lit a spark inside him. He had been drowning in despair, but now there was a path forward, a way to reclaim control and find the truth. "I'll make the calls," Damien said, voice low but determined. "I want to know where she is, and I want to know who did this. No matter what it takes, I'll fix it." Tyler nodded, a faint smile of approval crossing his face. "That's the spirit. You're not alone in this. We'll get her back, and we'll clear your name." For the first time since the scandal broke, Damien felt a surge of courage. The plan was forming. The pieces were starting to fall into place, and he was ready to do whatever it took to find Elena and the truth behind the chaos. Elena and Cassie walked into the pharmacy, both quiet, their minds heavy with the recent chaos. The fluorescent lights above seemed harsher than usual, reflecting the tension in Elena's shoulders. They moved to the aisle with pregnancy tests, picking up 2 different brands. "I want to be sure," Elena murmured, her voice barely above a whisper as she placed the tests in her basket. Cassie gave her a reassuring nod, sensing the storm behind Elena's calm exterior. Back at Cassie's apartment, Elena closed the door, finally letting herself breathe. The tests were placed on the counter, and with trembling hands, she took the first one, then the second. Both tests displayed the unmistakable results. Positive. Tears welled up instantly, streaming down her cheeks. She sank onto the floor, burying her face in her hands. Memories of her past, of the twins and the pain she had caused by keeping Damien away, surged like a tidal wave. She couldn't let history repeat itself. She couldn't. I can't do this again, she whispered brokenly. I can't take him away from his children. Cassie crouched beside her, placing a comforting hand on her back. Elena, listen to me. Damien is not like that. He would never deceive you. You know that. You trust him. You always have. Elena sniffled, the thought of trusting Damien giving her a fragile sense of hope. Maybe I should just play along, she said softly. Give him the benefit of the doubt. Act as if this could be fake. Just until I know for sure. I want to trust him again. Cassie smiled gently, squeezing her hand. It's okay to hope. This pregnancy could be the spark you've been waiting for. Maybe it's what brings you two back together. Damien, he's the right person. You know that in your heart. Elena wiped her tears, taking a deep, shaky breath. The weight on her chest felt a little lighter. For the first time in days, a small flicker of determination appeared. She would find a way figure this out to trust Damien and maybe, just maybe, to rebuild the life they were meant to have together. Damien sat in his home office, the glow from his laptop reflecting off his tense features. After a long silence and countless missed calls, he finally picked up his phone and started reaching out to his network. Trusted investigators, security contacts, anyone who could help him uncover the truth. This ends now, Damien muttered under his breath. I will find Elena. I will find whoever did this. He outlined everything to his contacts. Locate Elena, ensure her safety, and trace the origin of the scandal that had turned his life upside down. Every lead, every piece of information had to be pursued. Meanwhile, Tyler worked alongside him. Calm but determined, he leveraged his intelligence tools and trackers, focusing on small clues that could reveal Elena's location. Hours passed, but finally, the system pinged with confirmation. Elena was safe at Cassie's house. Tyler relayed the information to Damien, who felt a surge of relief tempered by lingering frustration and worry. Back at Cassie's, Elena was trying to regain some sense of normalcy. She had thrown herself into helping Cassie with her business, organizing inventory, assisting customers, anything to distract her mind from the chaos surrounding her and the scandal. Cassie noticed Elena's quiet determination. You're doing more than you realize, she said softly, handing her a stack of files. Keeping busy is good. It helps even if it's just a little. Elena nodded, grateful for the grounding presence. Though her heart ached for Damien and the children, for now, this distraction provided her a fragile sense of peace. A moment to catch her breath before the storm of investigation and confrontation that was coming. And somewhere across the city, Damien and Tyler worked tirelessly, piecing together the puzzle, determined to reunite Elena with the truth and protect the family from the chaos that threatened to destroy them. After tracking Elena's location, Damien carefully orchestrated a subtle meeting, ensuring it felt safe and controlled. He wanted to see her, to speak to her, without overwhelming her with the weight of the scandal. When they finally met, the air was thick with tension. Both had missed each other terribly, the silence between them speaking volumes of the days they'd been apart. Damien looked at her, his eyes filled with equal parts regret and determination. Elena, he said softly, taking a step closer. I will prove the scandal is fake. You don't have to come back yet. I need you to know the truth. Elena felt a rush of conflicting emotions. Relief, hope, lingering fear. She wanted to tell him about the pregnancy, to share everything, but something held her back. She chose to give him the benefit of the doubt, to trust him fully in this moment. With careful encouragement from both Tyler and Cassie, Elena allowed the children to see Damien. The reunion was immediate and emotional. Joyful shouts, tears, and hugs. The children clung to him, their relief and happiness undeniable. Damien's heart swelled as he held them, feeling the fractured pieces of their family slowly begin to mend. For a few precious hours, The chaos of the scandal and the danger surrounding them seemed distant. Damien and Elena shared quiet glances, unspoken apologies, and small reassurances. Though the path ahead was still uncertain, the bond they had fought to preserve was beginning to heal. Later that evening, Cassie decided to take a stroll, needing a moment to herself after the day's emotional whirlwind. The cool night air helped her think, clear her mind, and process everything that had happened. As she walked, she noticed Tyler quietly approaching, careful not to startle her. "Cassie," he said with a gentle smile. "Didn't expect to find you out here." She chuckled softly, a hint of relief in her voice. "Just needed some fresh air. Too much happened today." They began walking together, side by side, sharing casual conversation that gradually grew deeper. Tyler spoke of the challenges in helping Damien, the steps they had taken to track Elena, and the determination it took to fight for what was right. Cassie listened, offering insights and support, and slowly their conversation shifted to lighter topics. Memories, shared jokes, and playful teasing. There was a subtle chemistry between them, a warmth in the air that neither could ignore. Their shoulders brushed occasionally, and their laughter echoed softly in the night. As the stroll neared its end, they paused, looking at each other with an unspoken understanding. Tyler reached out slightly, almost touching her hand, and for a brief moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. Cassie smiled, heart fluttering, and Tyler mirrored her expression, the tension lingering like a quiet promise. They didn't kiss, but the connection was undeniable. Hopeful, exciting, and full of possibility. With a final shared glance, they parted ways, each carrying a spark of anticipation for what might come next. The following morning, Damien stepped into the boardroom, the weight of the scandal still pressing heavily on his shoulders. The room was tense. The board members' faces reflected disappointment, frustration, and concern over the company's tarnished image. Damien took a deep breath, steadying himself before speaking. "I understand the severity of the situation," he began, his voice calm but firm. "I assure you, we are taking every possible measure to resolve this. The scandal is not what it seems, and I will get to the bottom of it. Justice will be done, and the company's reputation restored." The board members exchanged glances, some nodding slightly, others skeptical, but Damien's confidence had a grounding effect on the room. Later that day, Damien received an update from his network of investigators. The trail of the fabricated scandal led to someone with deep ties to the mafia. The only clue they had was the initials, J. Damien's jaw tightened. He knew this was only the beginning. Whoever this person was, their influence was dangerous, but he refused to let it intimidate him. This was a step closer to finding Elena, protecting his family, and putting an end to the chaos once and for all. With renewed determination, Damien vowed to uncover the truth, protect Elena, and confront the shadowy forces behind the scandal. In a dimly lit room, Jackson and Damien's uncle leaned over a table scattered with documents, photos, and surveillance notes. Their plan was meticulous, cold, and calculated. Jackson's voice was sharp, laced with fury. "If Damien reunites with Elena, everything we've worked for falls apart. We need to eliminate him permanently." His uncle nodded, eyes narrowing. "And the twins, we take them. Make it look like Damien's negligence. That way, no one suspects us directly." As they reviewed their intel, a new piece of information made Jackson's blood boil. Elena was not only with the twins. She was staying at Cassie's house. And more than that, the reports suggested she was pregnant. Jackson slammed his fist on the table. "Pregnant? That wasn't part of the plan. This can't happen. We have to act faster. We cannot let Damien have her or this child." His uncle's expression hardened. "We move carefully. We wait for the perfect opportunity to strike." Jackson's mind raced with rage and desperation. Every thought was consumed with preventing Damien from reclaiming his family. The stakes had escalated, and their next move would be dangerous, ruthless, and unpredictable. Meanwhile, Elena remained unaware that the shadows of Jackson and Damien's uncle were closing in, plotting against her, the twins, and the life she was beginning to rebuild with Damien. By the time Jackson made his move, Damien had already gathered all the evidence proving the scandal and videos were completely fabricated. The investigation revealed it was a sophisticated AI manipulation. The video that went viral had been edited to make it seem as if Damien was involved with another woman. The AI had manipulated every frame, cutting and splicing footage to create false evidence. In reality, Damien had been the victim. The woman in the video had tried to seduce him, but nothing inappropriate happened. Damien compiled all the evidence: original timestamps, camera footage, AI analysis, and expert verification showing the forgery. With a deep breath, he emailed everything to Elena. Soon after, the evidence went public, clearing Damien's name. The world saw the truth. The scandal was fake, a malicious fabrication, but the emotional damage lingered. Meanwhile, Jackson, realizing his plans were exposed and desperate not to lose Elena, contacted her. He used the twins as leverage, demanding she meet him and elope. Elena, exhausted, stressed, and fearful for her children, refused to go. She trusted Damien fully to handle the situation, even as her heart raced with fear. Jackson, filled with rage over Elena's pregnancy and Damien's near reunion with her and her refusal to elope with him, made his move. He aimed to eliminate Damien first, ensuring no interference. But Damien's instincts and well-prepared security network proved too much. Jackson, enraged and desperate, went ahead and kidnapped the twins, thinking he could force Elena's hand. Damien's security network, however, was already tracking every movement. Tyler coordinated the intelligence, and the trackers pinpointed Jackson's location in real time. The rescue team moved in with precision, ready for any crossfire. Shots rang out. Chaos erupted as Damien's team confronted Jackson and his uncle. The uncle tried to intervene and flee but was killed during the operation. Jackson, cornered and furious, attempted to negotiate with his mafia contacts, only to discover they had abandoned him once they realized the risk. In the end, Jackson was betrayed and eliminated by the very allies he had relied upon. During the confrontation, Damien's uncle, aligned with Jackson, tried to flee. Damien acted decisively, ensuring the threat was neutralized. The uncle was killed in the crossfire, ending his treachery once and for all. Jackson, cornered and desperate, attempted to negotiate with his mafia allies, only to discover their loyalty had limits. They turned against him, seeing the risk he now posed. Turns out that Damien's father also had contacts in the past with the mafia, and the mafia respects and owes him. He decided to call in on the favor as regards to Jackson. After finding out about who is involved in the initial J having ties to the mafia, he contacted them with help in getting rid of him. As a favor owed to Damien's father, the mafia cut ties with him. Besides, he was a threat to them as he's been spiraling and leaving trails of his criminal acts which they wouldn't want to implicate them. So, they had no problem with getting rid of him. With the danger neutralized, Damien exhaled, relief and adrenaline mixing in a tense silence. The twins, shaken but unharmed, clung to him, and Elena, surrounded by guards watching it all from a distance, felt a wave of safety and gratitude wash over her. The nightmare had ended for now. Damien had saved his children, protected Elena, and finally reclaimed the stability and peace they all deserved. By the time Elena reached the house with the guards at a safe distance, the adrenaline, fear, and exhaustion of the past hours hit her all at once. Her knees buckled, and she fainted. Damien, who had been monitoring every step of the rescue, saw it happen and immediately rushed to her side. He scooped her into his arms, his heart pounding, and called for the fastest route to the hospital. At the hospital, the medical team quickly attended to her. Dr. Tina ran a series of tests, checking her vitals and assessing her condition after the fainting episode. Elena, regaining some awareness, looked at the doctor. Then the doctor said, explaining her state, "She has gone through so much stress. Especially given her condition, she needs a lot of rest and to avoid emotional strain." Damien instantly looked confused, then asked, "Which condition?" Her body was still trembling, her senses confused from the stress and exhaustion. The doctor looked at her kindly and asked Damien to step aside for a moment. Through her eyes, Elena communicated silently to the doctor, telling her not to reveal her condition yet. But when the doctor nodded and gave her space to speak, Elena whispered with a small, tired smile, I'm pregnant. I found out recently. That's why I chose to have hope, to fight for us, to believe that maybe everything wasn't true, that it was forged, and you that aren't that type of person. Damien's heart tightened. He reached for her hand gently. So, you weren't trying to hide it from me, to make me miss this pregnancy, right? Elena's eyes glistened with tears. No, I wouldn't do that to you again. I wouldn't. I really didn't want to do that. I wanted you to experience it all. I didn't want to repeat what I did with the twins. I wanted you to know, to share every moment with me. Relief, joy, and gratitude washed over Damien. He held her hand tightly, tears welling in his eyes. Elena, I promise, nothing will ever come between us again, he whispered. Elena looked up at him, exhausted but filled with trust, and whispered back, I believe you, Damien. I trust you. In that quiet, sterile hospital room, their emotions finally broke free. Damien pulled her close, and without a word, their lips met in a passionate, intense kiss. It was a kiss of reunion, of relief, of love reaffirmed after everything they had endured. Apologies tumbled between them, soft, hurried words of regret for misunderstandings, for fear, for the pain caused. But they were wrapped in the certainty of a love stronger than any obstacle. The children, now safe and joyful, resumed their daily routines. School returned to normal, laughter filled the house again, and Damien and Elena worked together to rebuild the stability that had been threatened. For Elena, the fear and trauma melted into a profound sense of security. She felt protected, cherished, and deeply loved. Damien, watching his family come together, felt a sense of fulfillment he had never known before. They had survived betrayal, scandal, danger, and deceit, and now, finally, they could breathe. Together, they faced the future with hope, love, and the certainty that they were stronger as a family. And in the quiet moments that followed, with the children asleep and the world outside finally at peace, Damien and Elena shared a long, tender embrace, knowing they had found home in each other. Life at last was theirs again. Life slowly returned to a gentle rhythm. Damien remained ever watchful over Elena, ensuring she was comfortable, rested, and safe. He monitored every doctor's appointment, every precaution, every little detail, not because he doubted her, but because he loved her fiercely and wanted to protect both her and their unborn child. Elena, in turn, felt a profound sense of security she hadn't known for years. The shadows of Jackson's threats were gone, replaced by the warmth and constancy of Damien's presence. She could finally breathe, feeling cherished, loved, and at peace. The children thrived in the restored normalcy of their lives. Laughter echoed through the house, homework was completed together at the table, and the small daily routines, once interrupted by chaos, became anchors of comfort and happiness. Damien's protective vigilance and Elena's renewed trust created a harmony that the family hadn't experienced before. Meanwhile, Cassie and Tyler shared quieter moments together. Their conversations lingered a little longer, smiles held a little deeper, and the light, playful tension between them hinted at the promise of romance yet to fully bloom. As for Damien and Elena, their love deepened with each passing day. The trials they had faced, the scandal, the threats, the separation, only strengthened the bond between them. Every touch, every glance, every quiet word shared between them carried layers of gratitude, trust, and passion. Their family was whole again, secure, and united. Evenings were filled with tender moments, from quiet dinners to soft conversations by the fire, all underlined by the joy of anticipation for the new life growing inside Elena. They laughed together, they comforted each other, and in every gesture, they reaffirmed that their love had not only survived but had grown stronger. In the stillness of their restored world, Damien held Elena close, feeling the calm certainty of the life they had fought to protect. Elena rested her head on his shoulder, heart steady, mind at ease, and soul filled with contentment. For Damien and Elena, the past horrors became memories, no longer threats, but reminders of their resilience. Their children were safe, their love was unwavering, and the future stretched before them full of promise. Happiness, peace, and security had returned in full measure. And as they looked at each other, holding hands over the gentle curve of Elena's belly, they knew without question that they would face the world together, deeply in love, a united family, and finally free. The nightmare was over. The future was theirs. And it was perfect. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your thoughts mean a lot to me. And trust me, the next story will be even better. You won't want to miss it. Turn on the notification bell so you're the first to know.